and welcome to the Loan Officer Team Training Podcast. My name's Irene, and I'm your host. And today we have an amazing person with us, Ginger Bell.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome, Ginger. I'm so glad you're here.
I am delighted to be here. It's always good to see you. And I love everything that you're doing, all of your wow training and your podcast and, just standing out there and making a difference. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited because for those of you that don't know who Ginger is, very few of you, I'm sure, don't know who Ginger is. She is with EduMarketing, and she has quite a few different offerings that she has for loan officers and for real estate agents, any business really. But tell us what you do at EduMarketing, Ginger.
I have been creating training and education for just about all my life. I was a corporate trainer with Dale Carnegie Training, got into the mortgage industry. I've written and conducted training on every mortgage regulation, every mortgage product. And for me, it's always been about using education to market and position yourself as the expert. And so that's how we came up with the name EduMarketing, because that is truly it. Now, in the mortgage and real estate industry, we have a ton of things that people have questions about.
Mm-hmm.
And loan officers and real estate agents have answers to those questions. And so we help them to be able to share their expertise. And we do that with video production. It's super simple. It's funny, yesterday, one of our clients is a real estate agent with Sotheby's, and he had referred me to the marketing director for Sotheby's International. And so I was having a conversation with him, and he said one of the things that real estate agents struggle with is not just, they can record the video, but coming up with the content and what they, do. And then the after part, as far as the editing and the post-production, getting it onto YouTube and getting it onto social media. And, somebody can do it like, hey, I'm not so busy right now. I'm going to do this myself. And so you do it. And then all of a sudden you get busy, and guess what? It doesn't happen anymore.
Yes.
And so what we've done is we've created a service where we basically become your marketing department. And you record the video and then send it to us, and then we take it over from there. So we put your branding, we put your music, we put the captions, we put your call outs, and then we post it onto YouTube and we post it onto social media. So it makes it easier for anyone, whether they're, a loan officer or a real estate agent. We have financial planners, we have Medicare insurance agents, to be able to get out there consistently to do that. And that's the key, Irene. It's the consistency that is so important in doing videos. So that's one of the things that we offer.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And we have several people that we know that are getting great results.
Yeah.
What you're doing for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And then the other offering is just like what you're doing now. It's podcasts. So Carl White had come to me about a year and a half ago and said, can you help to have some of our members to do a podcast? Because he had a couple people speak at different Freedom Club events about doing podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And so Devin was actually the first one that called. He goes, okay, I've recorded my first 2 podcasts. Now what? It's like, okay, put it onto YouTube, put it on the streaming platforms. He's like, we don't know how to do that. Will you do it? And so we created a podcast offering, and it's so cool because it ties right into making your phone calls. It ties right into creating those relationships with your referral partners. All you have to do is just record the podcast. It can be on Zoom, just like what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then we put the intros and the outros with the music to it. We put your branding, your guest branding, and then we create the thumbnails. We put it onto YouTube, and then we put it onto all the streaming platforms. And then we take 2 short video clips out of each podcast. And so I call them drop the mic moments.
Uh-huh.
And then that way you have your bookend. So you have a short clip saying, hey, coming soon. And then you've got your actual podcast. And then afterwards you have in case you missed it. But the idea is to be able to have not just showcase, but to be able to offer value to referral partners. So the podcasts are another great way to stand out. And the nice thing is we just make it so simple. All you have to do is record it.
That is the best way possible, because then they don't get distracted. They do the recording and then they don't have to do anything else.
Absolutely.
That's
And
great.
then the third thing that I'm excited about that we started offering about a year ago is book publication.
I
And
love this idea.
yeah, because and you know, I've been writing books for a long time. I've been involved in other books. The first book I ever wrote was with Brian Tracy, wrote another one with Brian Tracy, wrote one with Jack Canfield, and then I started writing my own books. I've helped others to write their books. Danny Ruiz, I helped him write his TikTok book. I worked with Carl to write several books. With the advent now of ChatGPT, it's been such a game changer for writing books because we have a client, we do his podcast, we do his videos, and he specializes in reverse mortgage. He's in Boulder, Colorado. So we were going through his branding and planning and I asked him, I said, have you ever thought about writing a book? He goes, I've always wanted to write a book. Just don't have the bandwidth. Don't know where to start.
Uh-huh.
And so what we did with Gabe, it's so cool with ChatGPT because I can create a custom agent in ChatGPT that has specific instructions, all the licensing information, the voice, we set everything up. And then you upload all of the documents. So Gabe teaches a lot of reverse. He actually teaches at the university as well. So
Uh-huh.
we uploaded, you can put 20 different documents into ChatGPT. So it has information to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a series of prompts that instructs chat to write the book. And so it took us a little bit of time to get it done. And then you have to go back through and edit it. But it changes the time involved. I just did this. I have a client in California and she does a lot of ADU and a lot of remodeling and construction. So she wanted to write a book on maximizing your property with ADU. And so I just met with her this week. She's already a client, so we have a custom GPT and chat GPT for her. And so we did a little bit of research, found some ADU guidelines, some things to be able to put into chat GPT to follow. And she had come up with an outline just saying, here's what I want to cover. And then I have a prompt that I use in ChatGPT to instruct it as far as how we want it to write, because basically these are instructional books. These are books, it's like we're not writing your life story. We're not writing, a love novel or anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
These are books that will help your prospects, your customers, your referral partners to understand something, whether it's a reverse
Yes.
mortgage, whether it's ADU, whether it's a VA, whether it's buying a home. I did one that was a parent's guide to buying a home with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you think about there's so many different things that you can create these little books out of. And I say little, I think it's 170 pages. It's not little. But Irene, we went and set this up for the ADU book. And within 30 minutes, it had completed everything with a glossary and it was completely set. So imagine here, we have this ADU book, right? So maximizing your home with ADU.
Mm-hmm.
And I've created a custom GPT in ChatGPT that has all of Luna's information in there. So it has her licensing, her bio, everything in there. We've uploaded guidelines for ADU. So now chat has all this information. And then we have an outline. And then I have a prompt that I use that instructs ChatGPT who the audience is, what the tone is, what grade. And I actually write it at eighth grade level, how I want it. So bulleted points, how many words. And so I set this up in ChatGPT for the prompt, and Luna's my client's on with me. And honestly, within a half an hour, it had written the entire book. It was 9 chapters and a glossary. And now, yeah, now we'll go back and we'll edit and we'll add and we'll do some other things to it. But what used to be that mental block, right, was a matter. It's like, okay, now we can get through this. So I honestly think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a course on how to do this,
Mm-hmm.
because you think about there are so many things that we in the industry, whether you're in mortgage or real estate, can provide access and training to.
Yes.
And it's about branding yourself. So this is the thing. We know interest rates will eventually go down at
Mm-hmm.
some point. It could be the fall, it could be next year, it could be 2 years from now. I don't know.
Right.
But we do know the 5 Ds of people moving or buying a house, right? And those things are always going to be there. So if you think about writing information and books or doing videos or podcasts around those 5 events, which is, I always have to think about it. So it is diamonds, diapers, deployment, divorce, and death. So those are the 5 Ds
Uh-huh.
that people have, that it's like, hey, we need to move, right? We need to buy a new house, whatever that is. And so if you think about doing your videos and doing podcasts, doing books around those things, it doesn't matter what the interest rates are, because now you're getting into what people are the fabric of their life. That's what they're living.
Yes. And they have to
And
move regardless.
and they have to do it. And so a lot of people in our industry have not been marketing. They haven't been putting themselves out there. And now is the time to do that. It's like, okay, we've we've gone through what we've gone through. It is what it is.
Yep.
And this is what we have. But you own a business. And as a business owner, guess what? You need to market. You need to get out there. You need to promote yourself. You need to be seen. You need to be doing all those things. And you need to hit it on all those levels. And so if you're doing videos and you combine it with a book, which is what we did for Gabe in Boulder, now
Mhm.
he's doing videos and he does his podcast. Now he has a book. I just talked to him yesterday, and he was taking his book out to stop into a real estate office
There you
and
go.
to drop off his book. Nobody else is doing that. Oh, and by the way, when I got him onto Amazon, he hit #1. So he's a bestseller, #1 bestseller on Amazon. And
Fantastic.
so we can put that on his book, and he's doing a book reading, he's doing some workshops, he's just doing other things that nobody else is doing.
Hmm.
And it's overcoming that fear. It was funny. I was reading this morning as I was eating my breakfast, and a quote, which I loved, which is action conquers fear.
I love that.
And right now, our industry has been in fear, and understandably so. It has been a tough time, a time of change.
Yes.
And anytime you have a drastic change, I've been in the industry for over 20 years, as have you. It's like, guess what? There's one thing that I've learned in this industry: shift hard, shift fast.
Yes.
But now it's if you had a fear of, oh, what do I say on video, or hey, I don't know how to get out there, now's the time to just overcome that and conquer those fears and do it in spite of your fear.
Yes.
Because the videos, I tell you what, the videos is what creates that relationship. When I was talking to the marketing director for Sotheby's yesterday, we were having the conversation about, everything's happening on the NAR settlement. And he was saying, agents now really need to make that connection.
Yes.
Agents now really need to get somebody to know. And for most real estate agents and Sotheby's, he even said that. He goes, they just have a static page that
Hmm.
has their picture and a little bit of information. What he wants to do is to have a little short video clip for all of their agents that goes onto their page,
That's a great idea.
that that introduces themselves, and hey, this is how I can help people, this is how I love to help people, this is why I got in the business.
Hmm.
And so those are things that you should be thinking about putting onto your website, not just sending out an email. That's fine. Do bomb, do your CRM, whatever that is,
Hmm.
but it needs to be on your website. And everyone needs a YouTube channel. Absolutely
Yes.
everyone needs a YouTube channel.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. You mentioned another quote that I loved with Dale Carnegie, and it starts with do the one thing you fear
Hmm.
and keep doing it.
Yep.
And I thought that is so great. Do the one thing you fear and keep doing it, because after a while, it won't be a fear anymore.
Yeah. And that's the
You'll
thing,
get
is,
used
right?
to it.
You get used to it. And we often, when we have our clients start doing video, they've never recorded video before. They're terrified of doing video. Nobody likes to see themselves in video, and they do it in spite of that fear. And we have some clients who, in fact, I have a client in New York. He doesn't even watch the videos. He has his assistant watch the videos because he does not like to see himself on video.
Because then he won't do it. He won't do it anymore if he keeps
Oh, he
watching
still does
himself.
them. He does them. And
Uh,
he's gotten really good. When he first started, we have worked with him for a long time. Like he actually flew from New York to Oregon where I am, and we spent 2 days filming him.
that's
And
fantastic.
he did it in spite of that fear. And so, but John Werner, and he's been doing videos for a while and he hated doing videos. And now he's like, okay, Ginger, I got this. You
Uh-huh.
give me the script, I upload it, I can record it, and I know how to do it. And then you take it over and I don't have to do anything else.
Because it'll distract him.
Yeah, it'll distract him. But and it's funny because we were going through his numbers on his YouTube channel last week, and I said, would you look at this? 72% of your videos are now in the YouTube algorithm, and 27% of your videos are being recommended by YouTube.
That's
And
fantastic.
so when you start seeing that, and it takes time to get to that point, some people they put up one video and they're like, okay, I didn't see any results. It's like, you
Yep.
know what?
It's a
You have
longer
to
game.
go to the gym more than one time to get
Yes.
in shape. And
Yes.
it's the same with videos. Kyle Seagraves, when I told Kyle to start his YouTube channel some 4 years ago, and he was a brand new LO. He wasn't sure what to even talk about. And I said, read the guides. Honestly, do videos, read the guides. And he does that. He does long form content. And he has over 120,000 subscribers. He had to go to a bank because he's getting in 300 to 400 leads a month.
Wow.
But it's consistency. And
Mhm.
that's the problem is people get started in something and then it's like, and we even see this, we have a system and I have to remind people, go shoot a video, go shoot a
Uh-huh.
video, go shoot a video. You're paying for a service, go shoot a video. And sometimes I feel like the mom.
It feels that way when you're trying to pull someone to do it, but
Yeah. And
it
it's coaching. It's that,
is.
and they know it works.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I think the most important thing, Irene, is people need to put themselves out there. People
Yes.
need to get outside. And so, maybe you're comfortable making those phone calls now. That's great. Get outside that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're comfortable doing social media. And let me tell you, social media, it's okay to do that. I think it's important, but your social media is one ecosystem and it is very controlled. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Meta controls it, Insta controls it. They all control that so closely. If you truly want to get in front of consumers, two things you need to do. The first thing is you need a YouTube channel. The second thing is you need to put a video on your website. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a YouTube channel, then you can honestly just add another page and put your YouTube videos onto another page. That's what we've done for clients. Like, okay, I already have the video. Let's create a page for you. And then you put that on, and then that increases your SEO. But video, 100% has been for a long time that
Yes.
you need it. And now, especially with the advent of AI, it's, definitely something that you should be doing. And it's fun. I mean, there's
It
so many
is
fun things
fun.
you can talk about. And that's the thing. It doesn't always have to be about mortgages. So for example, okay, at the recording of this podcast, we're in the middle of July. So August is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about things you could do in August. I would do a theme around the dog days of summer, and I would go out to all the dog parks in my community. I would bring a real estate agent with me, and it's like, hey, let's go check out the best dog parks. I'm in Portland, Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, we had a house in Atlanta in Johns Creek. My son did during the pandemic, and they have $1 million dog park, million
Wow.
award-winning $1 million dog park. And if I was in that area, I would go there. If I had a dog, I would bring a dog. I mean, it's like, and you think about why do that? You don't have to always talk about mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sprinkle in some of those, then you can do that. The other thing I would do is like, okay, it's August, dog days of summer. Then I would do some videos about what kind of things should you consider when you're buying a house and you have a pet or two pets or a dog or a cat or horses or
Yes.
cows. or chickens or whatever. But if you called the dog days of summer, you'd probably stick with dogs. You could even look at dog houses. I mean, it's like have fun with it. And I mean, I would even doing something like, okay, it's like maybe there's a program, the Rottweilers loan program. And it's
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
I mean, have fun with it. It doesn't always have to be the guidelines, and stop doing videos about rates are going to come down soon. Stop it.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, it's like they are what they are, what they are. Think about the 5 Ds
Yeah,
and lean into that because you have no control over the rates. None of us do.
none.
So, your mortgage market update, if you want to send out one on Monday, fine, whatever. But otherwise, I would become, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, the mayor of your own town.
Yes. Yep.
Do you have a loan partner who does the loan consultations, structures the loan, and converts the buyer to work with you? Or maybe you have a loan partner or a team member that you would like to move into that position so that you can be freed up to go get even more loans. How about a newer loan officer who could benefit from some training in how to convert buyers to work with them? Our client conversion training is very specific to this role. It will help them convert even more clients to work with you and your team. We help you to be seen as a trusted advisor. We cover every aspect of converting clients to work with you. They're going to learn emotional intelligence, what it is, and how to utilize it. They'll discover the key to a success mindset. Yep, we go deep on this one. How to build rapport right from the first conversation. How to ask the right questions. How to answer objections. Specific dialogues and strategies to overcome rate shoppers. They're going to practice live with other class members. And they're going to also learn how to ask for and receive referrals. How to master the loan consultation with loan strategies that help the buyer make great decisions for their future. Client conversion training will set your team apart when they implement the training that they're going to receive in our class. It's a virtual interactive class on Zoom with live trainers, and your team members can attend from wherever they are as long as they have audio and video. Everyone participates. It's a 10-hour live class divided into 2.5-hour sessions from 9 to 11:30 on Thursday and Friday for 2 weeks in a row. Sign up your loan partner today at loanteamtraining.com. You'll find the class on the Client Conversion Training tab.
There's nothing like it. So I think I told you before, and I may have said it on this podcast before also, when I was originating, I did video when no one else was doing it. Thanks to Carl. Carl White taught me. That's the first thing I learned from him was doing video. And it was under my old channel, which is Irene Duford, not under my Loan Team Training channel. But
Right.
either way, if you go to Irene Duford on YouTube, you'll find all those videos that I did so many years ago. And I was the mayor of the town like that. And I went and interviewed business owners. They had a new bakery come into town and I interviewed her and I showed all the stuff in the bakery. And we had a yogurt place that opened up and I did yogurt interviews and I did, guess where I am today. And then
I love that.
Where I was. And these are all ideas that Carl gave me.
Yep.
And it was amazing what was happening with it. And it gets your name out there in your town. I lived in a small community back then, community in Kingman, Arizona, in northern Arizona. And it really, really worked. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I started coaching people and then I stopped doing video as much. And now I'm going to start getting back into doing video again for my training company, for Loan Team Training.
Yeah. And so let's talk about that because the Loan Team Training, which is your WOW training, right?
Yes. And 2 other classes.
And 2 other classes. And so when you think about for you, there's so many, you can do videos about even just the quotes. It's like keeping that positivity, training your team, what you need to think about when you're hiring someone, because you do training for people who bring someone on that's new that they don't have time to do that training.
Right.
And so the idea is like, and that, I mean, what you provide is so valuable because that's one of the hardest things when you are hiring someone new to go, okay, now I have to train you.
Yes.
I don't have time to train you.
They need to be out getting business.
And those are videos, for you to be able to do, even if, and there's things they probably still need to train, but, talking about, videos. Hey, you've just hired someone new. Here's the first thing you need to do in structuring their welcome day, their first day in the office. That's a good video for you to do.
Yes.
Thinking about what are the things you need to do. I have someone new on my team that we're training into a new job function that I had been doing, and now they're going to start doing. And so I went through and I wrote down all the steps. And so that would be a good video for you to do. It's like, how do you train someone on your job so you don't have to do it anymore?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and as leaders, as managers, as entrepreneurs, that is hard. I mean, that's that. And you and I have talked about this before, that whole succession planning, as far as how do you let go of the baby when the baby's all yours, right?
Exactly. You bore
And
it, you raised it, you
it's mine.
nurtured it.
I love my
Yeah.
baby. It is my baby. But you have to. So how do you do that? How do
Mm-hmm.
you think about doing that? Where do you start to do that? And how, so those are all great videos for you to do that
Yes.
people have those questions, right?
Yep.
I mean, we're coming into there in both the real estate and the mortgage industry where a lot of people are ready to pass that business on. And in fact, I have a client who's a real estate agent, probably one of the first real estate agents with Remax. He's in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm helping him write a book. And he's going to be teaching it at Remax in September. And he has passed his franchise, is in the process of passing his franchise on to his son.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that he's going to focus on is, how do you do that? How do you do that where you're going to pass something on,
What do you document? What are
But
your checklists? What do you, yeah, and have it all written out. One of the things, Ginger, that really, really gets to me is when you think about somebody, let's look at somebody famous, like let's say someone like Gary Vee. Let's use Gary Vee as an example. Thank goodness they've been recording him all along. So he is out there, but I'm just going to use him as an example. When he passes away, think about all of the knowledge and the experiences and all of the good stuff he shared over the years that's up here in his head. I hope it's all documented. I hope he has done exactly what you're saying, has it mapped out. And I'm not just talking about him, anybody,
Mhm.
you, me. I have felt recently, and I'm going to share this. I'm being transparent here. I have felt recently that it's really important that I get my story on paper, not just my story,
Mhm.
but that all the stuff that's in my head, all
Mhm.
the experiences I've had, all of those things, I feel like I need to document them
Yeah.
in writing. In
Mhm.
I
And you can
even
start with a video. Sometimes it's hard for people to write.
yes,
It's
yes,
like we're working on a leadership book right now, and you're writing a chapter in it.
yes, I
And so, the conversations that I've been having with the different authors that may have a hard time putting pen to paper.
mm-hmm.
And so that's okay. I said, that's okay. You can talk it out. You can record your audio. You can record a video. I mean, it's like whatever that is, yes, it's important to do that. And that is the cool thing about video is you are able to have a record of that. And
Yes,
there's certain people, it's like Brian Tracy, who I wrote my first book with, and that's something that's very important to him. He is still to this day training. He has huge audiences. In fact, I just talked to someone on his team the other day, and he's been teaching, I want to say the Ukraine, but I don't know that that's it, but in that area, and then also in Japan. And so he's really expanded, but he has documented so much. And he has it now to where it's an online university. A friend of mine, Troy McLean, who started a learning management system, Tivudi,
mm-hmm.
he just signed Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins is now putting all of that information online. So it'll be
That
there.
that is what is needed because when someone passes on to, passes away, that's one
Yeah.
thing people can't take away from you. Maybe in this life, even if you get Alzheimer's and can't remember, you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to leave this life and you're still going to take your knowledge with you.
Yeah.
You're going to
So
take it
it's
and you'll be
leaving.
whole again at
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
point. But it's
Yeah.
important to document it. So when you talk about writing books, they can write
Mhm.
books with you anyway. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be just about mortgages or just
No.
about real estate.
It can be their
Your life story.
story. It can be your life story. There's so many things that you can write books about. The
Yes.
things that I love about books is Amazon makes it very simple to do a drop shipment. So you are just publishing on demand. And so you can, if you have your life story and you say, okay, I wrote this book and then it's 2 years down the road, I want to add to it, you can add to it.
Ah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can do that and you can add to it. So it doesn't mean the story ends there. Or you can do a volume 2, but you can add to it. You can have revisions and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, if there's one thing, Irene, it's get yourself out there, whether it's
Yes.
doing and not just on social media, doing a static post on social media of I've got this type of loan is not checking the box.
Mm-hmm.
I want you out there, and I don't want you just on social media. I want you out there on YouTube. I want you doing workshops. I want you writing a book and getting out there and being able to hand that out. I want you to do
Yes.
everything of what we do with EduMarketing, which is educational marketing, branding, and positioning yourself as the expert.
Mhm.
That you are. And trust me, it works 110%.
Yes, it really does. And you've helped a lot of people do it, and you'll help many more. So if you're interested in putting yourself out there, Ginger is a great resource. That's why I brought you on, because I wanted you to tell
Thank
what you do.
you.
Because I've heard so many of the people that you have helped, I know, and it really has helped them. You know what I love about you, Ginger, is your ideas. You come up with ideas all just in the spur of the moment. We're talking, and all of a sudden you have 5 different ideas you've given me.
Some people they say I make them tired because I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this and this and this and this, and then we're gonna do this and this and this. And they're like, I don't even think I can do one. It's like, trust me, you can.
Yes. And you start with
Action.
one.
You start with one, action overcomes fear. And you do it. And just like the Dale Carnegie quote that you said, you do it and you do it again and you do it again. You don't just do it once and go, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Like when I worked at Dale Carnegie, that's part of what we did in the Dale Carnegie course was getting people to overcome the fear of public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
Yeah.
the number one fear was, public speaking. Now I think the number one fear is doing video.
Yes. Because it's
And
like public speaking.
it's worse than public speaking because it is something that is recorded. When you speak in public, unless somebody's recorded it, you can go, made it through. Don't have to see it
Uh-huh.
again. But when you record a video, it's like,
It's
now
always
it's
there.
there. So I think honestly, I think it's worse. I did a workshop one time. I should probably do another one, overcoming the fear of doing video.
You should do another one. That's a great
I should.
idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is. And once you get everyone, Carl always says, I have the face for radio. Nobody likes, I mean, including Brad Pitt, who I watched on an interview saying he doesn't like watching himself. I think Ethan Hawke doesn't. And so many of them don't even watch themselves in the movies. It's like,
Uh-huh.
are you kidding me? I'll watch you all the time. But it's that we're so hard on ourselves. So I think we need to be easier on ourselves. We need to think about, as you said, passing on that legacy, passing on that information. I always sign in my books, always pass on what you have learned.
Mm, I love that.
Yep.
It's true. And even if you just start with some simple journal entries,
Yeah.
start somewhere.
Yep.
But keep doing it. Keep doing it even when you're uncomfortable. When I first started doing video, my husband could tell you stories of him trying to record me. And it was, nope, that didn't work. Nope, let's do it again. No, let's do it again. I was the worst when it came to that. He was like, finally, he said, Irene, let's just do it. And he was getting impatient with me already because I was so ridiculous about, no, my hair wasn't right, or my makeup wasn't on right, or whatever it was. And of course, as I've aged, I realize that those things don't matter as much
I
anymore
don't.
as they used to. I thought they mattered so much, but that was 20 years ago, or a long time ago, like 15 years ago that
So
I started doing video.
here's the thing. So Dr. Ruth recently passed away.
Hmm.
And you think of someone who very short woman, very strong accent,
Yes.
very strong opinions, right?
Uh-huh.
But man, did she have a following and did people love her?
Yes.
because that came through of who she was. Now she could have said, "Oh my gosh, I'm not attractive enough to have a," and she started with a radio show, ended up with a TV show, but and I have a strong accent and what do I know and all this other stuff. No, she
Mm-mm.
believed she had information to share and she could make a difference. And that's why she started. I mean, I read through her and it's her life, an amazing story because she got a syndicated radio show because someone had seen her speak and they said, "You need a radio show. You need to share this information."
That's amazing.
And she did it. I mean, that was controversial at the time that she was doing that. You did not talk about sex and the things she talked about at all.
Yes.
And yet, she did it, she did it, she did it, and, made quite the name for herself.
And she helped a lot of people.
She helped so many people and
That's
just
the key.
overcoming that. Yeah.
Yes, that's the key is when we stop ourselves from doing something, we are keeping everything inside of us instead of sharing what we know with other people because we're letting other things hold us back.
Yeah.
So I'm done being held back. I'm done saying I'm going to do it. As soon as we get off this podcast today, I'm going to shoot my first one in quite a while. And
Awesome.
it's going to be who you are and what you can
Yep.
share with other people. Because if you don't do it, you're not sharing and you're not helping other
Yep.
people. People that you don't even know are going to be affected by what you say and the stories that you tell.
Yep.
And you may not ever know. They may not ever tell you. Just like when you write a handwritten personal note, you don't write it so you'll get a response. You write it because you want to make someone's day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even know if they got the note.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with video. You could have reached 100 people that you don't even know about that have been affected by your video.
Yeah.
So we got to get out there and do it. And it starts right here today.
I love it.
I'm going to go right back to it again because it was fun when I did it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is fun. Yep.
Well, thank you for being here with me, Ginger, today. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for our friendship. I'm grateful that we get to hang out together. I get so many ideas from you, but just your warmth and the way you help people every day, it just makes such a difference.
Well, right back at you, my friend.
Well, thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at loanteamtraining.com. That's our website, and there's a place on there that you can reach out to us. Or if you're interested in any of our training, you can go to talktothetrainers.com, talktothetrainers with an S.com, and we can see if our training is a good fit for you. But enjoy the rest of your day. We're grateful that you were here. And if you got value from it, please share it with other people. That would really help us out. That would be a favor to me. So I would appreciate that. So